Welcome back everybody to Invictus Barber Academy. Today here we have a beautiful canvas, a beautiful hair to work on. Hair type will be wavy. Most of us sometimes we don't know what to do when we get somebody with a mid-length, long-length hair. Today it's all about scissor work. I'm gonna explain what I'm gonna do here. But before we start, I have something to say that will help you a lot to understand in how you can approach different hair types, different hair density. And all you need to do, keep in mind that you have three things going on here. We have the hairstyle, which is the main outcome, the main goal. The hairstyle is basically, you can call it mullet, short fringe, crop top, temporary mullets, and that's the style. Within the style, you have the shape, you have the texture, you have the movement. That's the style. But when you think about the haircut, because people have the misconception about this. In the haircut, it's when we work with clippers. Basically, on Donnie's hair today, we're gonna make this hair groom from the sides, groom backwards. We're gonna have a contemporary mullet here, a little bit longer. And the top here, we're gonna leave a little bit of this connection in the fringe. But haircut, what we're gonna do on Donnie's hair will be a low taper fade over here, but there's no taper in the back. We're gonna have some length here. So we got the hairstyle, we got the haircut, and then at the end is the hair styling. How you visualize this hair would be at the end when you finish the hairstyle, the haircut. So basically, the hairstyling, it's when you bring all the piece of art, all your work, all your knowledge that you applied to life. That's the whole idea, because people misconception, oh, I want this haircut. Haircut for me, my conception is basically taper fade, burst fade, low fade, high fade, whatever you can think of, working with clippers, fading, without fading as well. But in the hairstyle is basically the structure, the end goal, how you want his head to look at it. And with the style, of course, we got the shape. And to achieve those shapes, we have many techniques to approach and use. And at the end of the day, is the detail. It's basically the styling. What kind of product I'm going to be using and what kind of tools to achieve my desired style. Guys, I got Donnie here in my chair. Basically, I already analyzed his hair type, density, how much the thickness, which is the hair texture. I checked everything already, proportion. Why we should check all of that first is because most of the time when I'm having a new client, or I'm having a model, new client and model, I usually get people that I don't know. They just kind of come in and want to get a haircut so I can record a video for you guys, record content for you. I don't understand them, but now I need to understand the hair, understand the texture, understand the type, understand the density, can have a different approach for different hair. Done is here, what we're about to do. First thing, we're going to be organizing this hair. There's a tons of mass of hair here. If I just approach with a clipper work or just in random way, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna end up messing up some areas, cutting up some pieces that I don't desire to cut or get lost. First thing I'm gonna have to do, I'm going to divide in multiple planing sections, multiple panels, and then I'm going to break those panels into small subsections so I can build up my shape, my structure, and everything that I desire. Now, the most important thing is basically I have in my mind, I visualize what I want. And also Donnie brought me a picture and we were discussing what we're gonna do, what he wanted to do. It's not based on what I wanted to do, it's based on what my client needs, what the hair is asking for, demanding, because the hair also is demand what needs to be done. I have in my mind the outcome, how the shape, the style, the haircut that I'm gonna do, where I'm going to style this for, forward, backwards, what I'm gonna do. I have in my mind. Now, I'm gonna take from my mind everything I visualize and I'm gonna use the techniques, my knowledge to apply and of course, bring everything to life. Basically now, what I'm going to use in his hair, it's a little bit of grooming, or you can use serum. Grooming now is going to help maintain the hair damp while I'm cutting with shears, and basically I will be cutting with shears here for 1 hour, and I need to maintain the hair constantly wet. My sectioning will be more precise. I'm using grooming. I don't have to keep wetting out the hair at all times. Of course, sometimes I will spray some water, but this help me with my sectioning, my parting. Right now, I already know the style, the length, what I want, everything about this hair. And I already know where to get to, and also I have the knowledge to apply. Basically, sometimes we're struggling is because we don't have the knowledge, we don't have the understanding. The difference between me and the ones that don't know yet is just what I know and what you don't know. Nobody's better than anybody. It's just because my part to learn barbering, learn all the techniques very well. That's the only thing that sets us apart. But basically, if you're here, if you're watching, it's because you are seeking for education as well, and you want to grow. So first thing I do, and my first approach, it's of course analyze the hair, but now based on technique, I will do some parts, some panels, and those panels will allow me to focus in one panel at a time so I don't get confused. Right now, I put it right on the center. There's multiple ways you can do this. I'm grooming this backwards. I'm using the palm of my hand. Right now, the hair will separate. If I push it down, it will separate right in the center. As you can see over here, that's its natural growth pattern. That's where his hair daily will separate naturally. And if I force, give him a part around here, and I will be cutting hair from areas that I don't want, and the hair will have the strength and trying to go work against you. You have to work with the naturality of the hair. Right now, what I'm gonna do is the same. I don't even have to section this hair. If I just put it up, I know exactly where the hair will section. Just like on the sides too, I'm holding. Always make sure this hair will be nice and done. I like to work with the hair as more natural possible. Sometimes when the hair is too thick, it won't do the work, won't separate itself. It's just because the hair is too thick. So now I'm separating the hair on top. When the hair is a little bit shorter, just make sure the hair on top is inside those lines, inside the sectioning. And now I can't clip everything, but I'm gonna clip the fringe out, separating from the rest of the hair. And if you want, you can use multiple clips. What is more important here is to maintain yourself organized, because at the middle of the style, middle of the haircut, you don't want to stop and basically you start organizing the hair in the middle of the haircut, right? Especially when you're recording. See, everything now is divided, and I'm gonna do the other side as well. What happened with the grooming helps when I'm sectioning and stick the hair on the head, and the hair stays over there. So basically now I'm gonna put my focus one of this panel, so those panel won't want to take vertical sections here. Since I'm working on taper fade, I'm gonna get this hair very short around this area. Let me do it again, make sure my sections are clean. I flip the comb, scoop the hair into my fingers. This is my guideline for my length. So right here on the tempera will be short. Now each of these section here, I'm bringing down to my first section. So I'm bringing down to my first section, I'm gonna elevate the hair. So all the weight will sit around this height, around the head, because I'm gonna groom this hair backwards, pushing backwards. This is my third section. I'm bringing down to my second, elevated. You scoop your section from the back so you can have a guide, but at the end when you're cutting, you bring from up downwards. Then you elevate the hair. Now my last section, I'm gonna bring to my second as well, elevated. Make sure my finger is parallel with the head. This hair will be groomed backwards. But basically now, since I got those two panels done, the hair, you see, the weight will sit on that area. Of course, we need to debulk this a little bit, remove some weight, but the hair will basically sit around this area, all around here. And I'm gonna take diagonal back. But first, before I start taking diagonal back, I'm gonna make sure this length is right. I'm gonna work on his nape first. This is my length I'm focused on. I groom the hair, place my finger, using my feather razor. Make sure I light this up, cut my length. before I start doing diagonal back. That's my length right now. So now I'm getting spray some water. Remember, I got my length here from my first section. That is where I take my guide. Now I flip my comb. I'm scooping with this side of the comb so I'll be able to catch my guide. As you can see, my guide is right there. So now I want to maintain this area a little bit longer. So I'm bringing everything out in square. I'm continuing to take diagonal sections. So now my third section, I'm bringing to my second, but elevated, remember? Elevated. All this weight will sit right above the occipital bone. I'm constantly finding my guide from beneath and also from here. I groom everything backwards before you section here. Make sure you divide that section well. I'm over directing everything now to my fourth. Basically, he will be a little bit shorter, but around this hair, the hair will sit heavier and longer because now I'm over directing the hair to this area here. I can use my section, as you can see, where the hair will be sitting on. So from now on, even the hair from here, I'll be sectioning all the hair down to this section right here. You basically need to count sections so you don't get lost. As you can see, I'm bringing all this hair down to here, creating length and my shape. I'm just picking the hair from above, bringing down to a section up here. But always elevated so you create that little bit of softer transition. What we basically did was we set my first line and then all the other sections were sitting on around this height, and then we match this, but of course I pull out a little bit so we make this corner a little bit longer because I want to maintain this and bring it in always down here to my second to third section. All the way from here, I'm bringing all the new sections to my section down here so I can create my weight. What I wanted for this, what do I want for this? It's to make the hair around this area longer and with more movement as well down here. You see, when you divide the hair in multiple panels, you are able to focus in certain areas so the hair don't bother you. The hair will always try to control us. It's just because it wants to do what it wants to do. Now I still have the grooming, apply a little bit of water just to maintain. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a profile section. I'm gonna take a profile section on the center of the head. And I'm separating my profile. My profile is basically the length I want on the top all the way here to the crown. Basically, when you work with the wavy hair, the way the hair moves around, you have to control that tons of time. When I'm working on my profile, now basically I have a length from the fringe that I want to keep. I'm not cutting. I'm going to take from that length everything else towards the back. My finger will be parallel with the head, maintaining my shape. I want to create a square shape over here. As you can see, my finger worked parallel with the head. Now the top will be square and the crown connecting with the back will be a little bit curved, which is a convex layer that I'm using, creating my round shape all the way to my length towards the back. So now I'm using my profile, bringing my profile to the side. I got my profile in the center. I'm gonna be working on my left side, bringing just my profile up and a little bit from this side. My fingers are flat. Basically, if I'm continuing with my finger flat, following my profile, I'll maintain my square shape. And then I'm gonna go all the way to the range around this area right here. If I elevate the hair in this angle and I cut this angle, I'm cutting the edge of my square shape. I don't want that. Everything, I'm keeping all sections straight up. I'm grooming away what I don't need it anymore. Trying to section the hair and work clean.
I think that's what it was, yeah.
The fringe, I have almost nothing because I want to maintain that length. So here, I need to bring my profile to this side so I can have some guide. So I could be able to cut the other side as well. My profile still will be in the center. So I cut the whole top now. What I'm gonna do, if I wanna save the fringe, I'm basically going to find where I'm going to section this hair just to save my fringe. There's multiple areas of the hair, the head, where the head differ from side to the top, back to the side. Now I'm taking my fringe out of the way. I don't want to connect the fringe. I want the fringe a little bit disconnected. Now I'm bringing the length from the top down to my third previous section on the side here, because now all the length from the top will sit it over here, connecting the hair pretty well, but not connecting the fringe. So now I'm going to divide the fringe, bring it over here. That's a slightly disconnected. Now guys, I'm left over with lots of weight. I'm going to have to remove a little bit of that weight so he can, when he tries to wheel style easier, so he don't have to use lots of product on his hair. Now as you can see how the hair flow from the side towards the back. So basically now I'm removing the fringe away. I'm gonna have some grip where the hair is sitting heavy, slicing just the tip of the hair where the hair is sitting with too much of weight. I'm just gonna go around. Guys, he is already soft, but I'm softening a little bit more just to match everything else. Right here, I groom it down. I'm softening this area, and also I'm gonna force to add some texture as well. There's a way you can work with your comb, with your feather razors as well. With the comb, place your feather razor on top. Slice the hair, make sure the hair falls soft on top of the bottom one. As you can see how it's coming out. When I groom it, I can see where to focus with my feather razor. I need to pay attention and make sure I soften both sides the same, consistent in softness. We are focused on our taper fade. I will debulk first. Make sure this area is clean. I'm not gonna go too high. This is my max. Of course, now I'm going to use my 1 to mark my first graduation line. And you can also place a 0, finger width below my 1, and then now you can focus on blend each one of those. You choose, you can do the 0 and below first or higher here. I'm gonna maintain my focus in blend this line first. Since I have 3, I have number 1 guideline. Now I can skip 1 guard if I want to, using freehand. 1.5 open, using freehand, and 1.5 closed. My number 1 line guideline is still there. Now almost gone. Half open. I'm going very slow, and I'm going to go all the way to 1, and I continue to close my lever to get shorter. And the more I close my lever, the more the line disappears, but at the same time I need to be low, because now if I'm using a guard that is very short, I cannot go as high, otherwise I will create another line. As you can see, I'm working with the corners. I'm making the center a little lighter than here and here. Now I'm basically going to work on my hair outline here. I'm not gonna cut this natural hair over here, because I want this hair will be groomed back. I'm taking the hair away, and I'm just carving my line very natural here, not deep. Right beneath my natural line. Because if I cut this piece of hair, this will be growing fast and won't look right. So now I'm checking where I start my line. Basically, I start my line where this line meets the one that is going straight down. So I have a curvature, and then I have natural line going down on his hairline. I groom everything to the direction of the hair that will be groomed daily. Now I find where those lines meet and link together. That's the perfect spot where we start our line. What I don't want to do, I don't want to carve a high line above his ears. I want to clean, but at the same time I don't want to go too high. This is almost the final outcome. Now I'm working on my detail. I want the center here be a little bit with texture, some movement, not as much sharp, but right here I want a very straight line. Same thing on this side. Just make sure you maintain consistency in height. So you can maintain this line consistent in height. You're basically just going to find some pinpoints from the face. In this case here, the line is matching the tip of his ears. So at the end, the finalization, the detail is important, because since you already picture the outcome, the texture, the volume, direction we're going to groom the hair, the style, the cut. So now I'm bringing everything to life, and I'm finishing with the details here. I'm finishing with a pomade. It's still the same product that I used at the beginning. Now I'm working in making his hair will come out now just the way I pictured. So detail is important. If you work on a beautiful hair like this, and then you don't know how to style, you're gonna kill all the effort in creating this beautiful style here. So there we go. We came to the end. You all saw how Donnie come here today with the big fro here, lots of hair, crazy. If you don't know how to approach cutting hair with shears there, you start struggling with. But now you know how to take care of this situation. Now you know all the techniques that are applied here. I need you guys to get a mannequin heads, get a model, apply, do the same over and over again, and you can be better than me. Just apply the techniques we worked here today. It's all about learning. It's all about educating yourself. Now I'm here to share. At the end of the day, I visualized this hair the way it is, the whole style, the haircut, the way the hair is styled, the way I did the taper. That's what I visualized at the beginning. Now I apply all my knowledge. Now that's how it came out. This is the whole outcome. Can you turn a little bit, Donnie? As you can see, You need to be able to visualize something, take it out of your head and apply on your client's head. Of course, make sure everything you know, you are up for. Work hard, put it into work, make your clients happy, and that's what it is. Dare to be bold and don't be afraid. See you guys in the next class.